Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Section 214 BC Lions podcast. I'm Hammer slash Lucas, here with my favorite co-hosts, Jacob and Ascent. Um, Happy October, everyone. It's the greatest month for sports. We got hockey
Hmm.
coming back. We got right next door for BC Place. We got the Canucks preseason game, MLB playoffs, the NBA coming back this month.
So
Um,
am I. Just,
yeah, I
I
know.
know.
Sucks for you, Ascent. Today. I'm the season ticket holder of the group. I didn't go to the game because I'm sick. See, my voice sounds a little off, so when I'm coughing, I'll mute myself. Um, what else are we sick of? We're sick of losing.
Mm.
And to change things for once, I'm going to say something you guys are going to love. Lions win. Lions beat the Stampeders 32 to 15 today after a kind of a not memorable first three quarters and 23 points in the fourth quarter for the Lions to win 32 to 15. Um, how are we feeling?
Relief.
Good, relief. I decided not to go to the game as well. I was offered free tickets. My dad, as a former season ticket holder, was offered tickets to this game for free, aka translation. Nobody was buying tickets to this game, so they were trying to give them away for free. We decided not to go. And for 3.5 quarters, I was glad about that.
Boy, I
Maybe the
would have been.
fourth quarter would have made it worth it though.
Yeah, you would have had a dose of NyQuil. Would have been as potent as the 3 quarters, right?
Uh,
Um, yeah, and on the flip side, I mean, I'm gonna be staying home for the remainder of the season anyways again. So I mean, I I'll say this. I said I feel relief, but that was only because for me, the past week of sports have been just absolute hell for
oh,
me,
brutal.
right? First, I mean, it started out with the Hamilton collapse, and then in hockey stat on hockey sense, like Ottawa versus Montreal, I got a little bit of a scare with Kachuk, Stutzla, and Shabbat all getting injured, and they were taken out for precautionary reasons, but they should be fine. But I got a scare there, and then the big disappointment the big disappointment was the Orioles failed to score runs at all. They only scored 1-1, and they got swept by the Kansas City Royals, and that clinched like 10 straight playoff losses for them, dating all the way back to 2014. So I have to wait another year to see them try and win a playoff game.
Oh,
Uh, and at the beginning of this game, I just felt dead inside. Right, I was depleted. I was just I was so tired of all the negativity and the losing, and I just wanted something happy to happen for once. And thankfully, the sports gods let up on me today. But um,
yeah, first three quarters, I was also saying, like, I'm glad I didn't go to the
yeah,
game. And also, just like you, Jacob, you were offered free tickets. You didn't take them. No one took my tickets. I told a lot of people, I'm like, you want my tickets? And no one took them. Remember the Nathan Rourke game in August 17th or 18th? It was pretty easy to get my tickets away. But this one, yeah, no one
yeah,
else
now
wanted to
not so
go.
much.
You couldn't pay
Yeah,
people to go to these games.
We do.
I know. I mean, the attendance. I mean, I thought it was probably around the same level that I was used to seeing them say, "Oh God, the dog years," right? But I'm guessing there might be a couple more reasons other than the hype kind of dying down a little bit on the team, and thankfully they won. But
Mm.
I mean, I think the other two times it was probably just school in session and maybe I don't know, getting ready for the
Yeah.
election season, maybe. I'm not sure. Provincial election, but
Oh, Jacob, you are missing a game, the next game, the final home game because of the election.
It's true, yeah, but hopefully by that point the game will not matter one way or another, so that would be nice.
Yeah.
yeah, so we won't have to talk about that too much, but but that's for in the future. Yeah, but I guess
Got something special.
well, we got something really special happened to us today. I mean, yesterday. A few months ago, with the BC Lions subscribed to us as an official channel, right? They subscribed to us, which is nice. And then, of course, the other thing that happened yesterday, we actually got some fan mail yesterday, and
Yeah, I was
Mr.
super,
Mr.
super excited to get that.
Yeah, I'm happy that we're getting some feedback from the audience, and so Mr. Hubert Barton, you are our first fan mail that we're going to be reading out. Uh, yeah, yeah. Like I said in the reply, I mean, we're happy to hear from you, and let's address this hard-hitting question. So the subject line said, "Father not starting VA." Hey guys, thank you for keeping me updated throughout the season. I've enjoyed the podcast. I have been able to watch many games this season, and I usually attend a few at BC Place during the early fall, but I haven't been willing to spend money on tickets knowing how bad they've been playing. Yeah.
I
Uh,
feel ya.
maybe hit up some of us for just those free tickets next time. Uh,
True. I could put him up on the Twitter page next time.
There
It's
you
yeah,
pretty
go.
short notice, and I knew I wasn't going, but yeah.
yeah, follow us on Twitter too. Uh, so yeah, question for the pod. What are your thoughts on them not starting Vernon Adams? Personally, I think it's a shame not starting your QB who helped jump you off to the hot start and has been riding with the Lions in Work's absence. I'm disappointed in how they rolled out the red carpet for Work and gave him the #1 spot without having to prove himself, especially after he left BC. Thanks again for the great podcast. Here's Hubert. So yeah, we I'll come out with this, Hubert. We talked a little bit we talked a lot about this question uh today. I mean, we were just happy to have, fan mail yesterday, but today I kind of talked a little bit about it during the halftime of this game. And I guess, I mean, if you two have anything other to say after I say something,
I
I'll
won't.
say this. I think at the time, I mean, the context kind of does matter when it comes to uh, not starting Gordon Adams for the rest of the season. I mean, yes, he did get off to the hot start. He did send us off to a 5-1 start, but then, like after that Saskatchewan game, something went really wrong. I mean, I it really culminated in that shutout loss against Winnipeg, right? When they only had 4 first downs. I mean, that's kind of like a blind spot for some Lions fans, I noticed. I mean, they didn't really remember that Adams' last game was awful, right? Only 4 first downs, and then the Edmonton game after that, where was Jake Dolegala? I mean, he didn't play all that great either, and I think and I think I even said it some it might have been in the Edmonton review episode, or maybe at some point, but I think yeah, it was just BC trying to get some flash back into our offense, right? And it felt like the offense was kind of dead. I mean, so far, and even with them winning against Calgary, I mean, the offense didn't score any touchdowns, right? I'm still in this
Literally
mode
not.
of I don't really have much faith in the offense right now, but I mean, yeah, I mean things can change. With I mean, it'd be a great injection of confidence if we can, do better offensively against Saskatchewan on the road. But I mean, yeah, it's just I get that the inconsistency is really making some Lions fans want to go back to Vernon Adams and give him a shot. But you know, um,
I'll chip in here.
Wick Campbell. Well, I'll end it off on this. Wick
Mhm.
Campbell said that he's going to be sticking with work for the rest of the year, and that's going to be nothing much we can do about that, right? I mean, I can we can all shout and holler and type up a storm on social media saying, "Why won't you start Vernon Adams?" Right? But yeah, I, again, that's my answer. So uh, I think it's fine. We'll be fine.
I kind of had two answers to this because there was an answer before this game and then after this game happened. Before this game, I was kind of on the train of maybe we should start VA because of how well he played early in the year. Um, I know that Vork is signed for 2 years. He's signed until 2026, 3 years, I guess, including this
Max
season.
contract as well. So
Yeah.
uh,
So you're really committing to this guy long term. But in the short term, I don't know if Vernon Adams going to stick along. And he has had his moments, so why not give him a go? I know the Toronto Argonauts game, he didn't play well for half a game, but he was cold, and Rourke didn't play well either that game. Then looking at today's game, Rourke was 20. I know I'll steal off the stats sheet a bit. He was 20 for 24, and I feel like the offense died as a fact as the running game. So I think going forward, he is our guy. I know he has some confidence, and he likes to blame himself for these things. So I think he should go forward in the playoffs. I have a bit more confidence in Nathan Rourke, but it's really nice to have two good quarterbacks.
Yeah,
I think
I
I
mean,
think
again, the Vancouver market is no stranger to controversy and important positions in a sport. See
Goalie
Luongo
for
and
the Canucks.
Slido, right? So, I mean, yeah, we're no stranger to quarterback controversy, at least in the present. But yeah, I mean, yeah, at this point, Adams is a big insurance if Work ever gets injured again. And I mean, and he did get injured in his MOP season, right? No, yeah, best Canadian season.
Yeah, he should have
uh,
won MOP. If he was healthy, he would have won it. I'm
if he was
confident.
healthy, he should have won MOP. But yeah, I mean, uh, yeah, I mean, I think this this is it's a good contingency kind of plan to have Vernon Adams at least for this year. I mean, there's going to be a lot of questions. I mean, if BC gets an early playoff exit, or I mean, assuming they do clinch, uh, if they get an early playoff exit, I mean, it's going to feel like a very disappointing year because of how inconsistent it is. But I I imagine the allure of us hosting the Grey Cup should, do some psychological benefits to the team. At least I hope, right?
For
But
sure.
only time will tell. Yeah.
That's what I was
So
thinking when they were at 5-1.
yeah, 5-1. I mean, yeah, we were just high flying, and we were.
I'm like, they know this is the year, but you don't know what this team is at this point. So we'll have to see how they fare in November when the playoffs come around. I hope they make it.
which
I think they will at this
Late
they
point.
should be at
October.
this point. They got through, they got enough done to get in. I'm
There's a
of the
sliver
view.
of doubt before this.
JS, I mean, you are before work came back, you were a staunch anti-worker, right?
I still
You
am
you didn't like
for
him.
my
It's
reasons. I'm of the view that they should have started Vernon Adams this week because work had been so shaky and uninspiring, and I mean he did fine today, but I'm still not terribly inspired with the offense after this win. So I'm of the view that we've got how many games left? 2 games. Chances are the last game's not going to mean anything. Maybe you give Adams some reps in that game just to shake things up a little bit when you have a chance to try things and just try and light a fire under the team that we're not really seeing right now, despite the win, which was, by a fairly large margin in the end, but that was because of the defense, right? So,
and special teams.
and special teams too. Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, give him a chance. You don't have much to lose, is what I think.
Yeah, I mean, especially if Saskatchewan does manage to beat Edmonton tomorrow, then yeah, I mean, I think all of us will know that our chances of hosting the semis, well, the semis in the Western Final have ended, right? But uh, I mean, the last time BC was on the road a lot before coming into BC Place to the Grey Cup was 1994. So yeah, it was 94. Yeah, so uh, they've done it before, but I mean, yeah, we'll just works our guy heading into the playoffs. I mean, unless he gets injured at some point, right? But yeah. So yeah, thanks Huber for your question.
I think
We're
it's really, really cool that we got fan mail. I mean, nothing was going right
Absolutely.
for the team before this, but we, as a podcast, had a lot of things going right for us. We had first bit of fan mail, and we've been getting a lot of views on our YouTube shorts, and all the followers coming in, like bigger Lions Twitter accounts and the Lions themselves on YouTube. So, really grateful for all the support.
Absolutely. No question about that.
Yeah, I mean, as much as this season has gotten us down often as it has, I mean, there have been quite a few bright spots over the season, right? And yeah, we appreciate that all the same, right? So I mean,
Most
it's
definitely.
it's the little things, as or is it? No, it's all the small things as like 182 would say, right? Uh, yeah, I guess we'll get into the gut check part. I mean, of this game. I mean, we did like halfway through our answering of Hubert's question. I mean, I did kind of let loose about how all of us felt about this game. I mean, I know I felt that this game was weird.
It
Uh,
was.
it was, I mean, it was a relief that we won, but it was weird, right? I mean, it was, I even, before I came to recording, I told my dad about it, and even he said, yeah, it's weird. Uh, yeah, I mean, it's not, it feels like the kind of Kansas City Chiefs like stat to win without scoring an offensive touchdown, maybe. No, actually, no. Kansas City Chiefs stat would be just, always winning on like the last minute, right? But I don't know, or maybe, oh yeah, it just feels like one of those or maybe it's like one of those wins that the Bombers would get, right? Like if their
The
offense
Bombers.
struggles, right, that would be a better representation, yeah. But yeah, the Bombers. This is a Bombers type win where, you know, just BC's offense was struggling to get in the end zone offensively, but defense and the
Defense
special
stepped up
and
when it
Sean White
mattered.
himself. Yeah,
Was rock
Sean White.
solid through the whole game.
Yeah, he scored over half the points. The team, like one man, scored 18 points. Right? If
Crazy.
I was to give an MVP ball, like if I was Rick Campbell and I was in that locker room, I would give it right to him. Well, either him or TJ Lee for that for
I think
the
we had a good
battle.
MVP by committee this game, however we can see it.
Mhm.
Gut check. First three quarters, there was no real guts in that, but fourth
There's no
quarter, there
real
was
guts,
some
no real
guts.
brains, no real nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
fourth
fourth
quarter.
quarter,
Yeah,
there was a bit of guts and a bit of clutch by our two defensive line players, Matthew Betts and TJ Lee, returning some touchdowns. A
And
bit of an
maybe a
odd
bit of
one.
referee luck too.
Oh yeah, referee luck.
I have my opinions about that
I didn't think it
lateral,
was
which we'll get into later.
I didn't think it was a
yeah,
lateral.
yeah, yeah. There might be a debate a little bit, but I don't think it's in the long run. I think it might have still won anyways. But then again, Calgary did get that touchdown late. But yeah, anyways, that was garbage time. But
And honestly, like for all we talked about the Lions being like not good, we had our halftime call and we were all so miserable because the last
yeah,
2 weeks really did this to us. But Calgary had nothing going this game, or up until like the end of the fourth quarter where they got a touchdown. They had 8 points, or did they have 8 points? They had
8 points. Yes.
8 points in the first three quarters. That's pretty bad. So, and we got 3 points in each of the first three quarters. And that bad offense alone was enough to be ahead.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it was 9-8 by the halftime, right? So I think it was, yeah. But yeah, I mean, at that point in the halftime, I mean, I was already miserable I was already miserable from the past week alone of all the different sports I follow. And this one I'm like, would I be surprised if BC loses to a Calgary team that's winless on the road all season, and they continue to be winless on the road, but
That'd be a
and
very
then they've
Lions thing to
lost
do to lose
six.
that game.
Yeah, so they lost six straight coming in here, and they're desperate to have some kind of positive thing happen to them this year. And yeah, but yeah, I was preparing for the worst because I was in the worst mood.
yeah, it's so weird, but you trust the weirdness in this.
Yeah, I'm
Indeed.
so I'm so glad that it's over for now. Like just for today, just the weight off my shoulder just for today. But
Oh, for sure.
yeah, so I guess, we talked about in our gut check. We can go into a little bit more detail for the statistics. Well, because all three of us were at home, me and Hammer were able to get the stats done pretty quickly, right? There was so we could do a video. So yeah, I'll start out with the BC stats. So yeah, Nathan Work, yeah, he went 20 for 24, 218 yards, 218 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, 9.1 average per catch, or oh, no, per throw. Yeah. Longest throw was 50 yards, which was a pretty good dime to Hatcher in the fourth, I believe, or and then 23 rushing out of 3 carries. But yeah, I mean, I want to see more throwing touchdowns from him. I mean, he's been doing rushing touchdowns a bunch, but you know, I want to see more out of him against Saskatchewan if he's starting that game. We'll never know. We'll never know. But
20 for
Stem,
24 is really, really good. So not going to complain about
yeah,
that.
yeah, mistake-free football. That's
Ideal.
There's really
that's
only
ideal.
one
That's like a
risky throw I remember from him. I think it was in the second quarter. It was into like double coverage. But even that,
triple coverage. I remember that one. He flooded
yeah,
it right
even
through.
that
Yeah,
one, it worked out. So we'll just let it go for today.
And one of those was a drop as well.
There you
Burial.
go.
there we go. Yeah. Um, and of course, I mean, well, I mean, we criticized Billy Hill in the recap too, but stand back. I mean, he had 15 carries for 50 yards, but I mean, he had ones where he just gets, he stopped and then he loses yards, right, which is frustrating because he's a power back, right? He can run through defenders like there's no tomorrow, but I mean, like he just bounces off and loses yards anyways in this
We
game.
talking about Stanback? My dad doesn't like him. He's very inconsistent. Remember, I said earlier weeks that he's kind of having a BC place curse. He's not had that many games at home, and some games he's just capable of putting up a 3.3 average like he did today. So
Yeah, I
I think
mean,
that's kind of where the offense died today, but I know he's capable of doing a lot better, and he's shown it at BC Place in the last month. So
few times, yeah. I mean, had a 100-yard game at some points, right? But yeah, it didn't get on the score sheet either. Only had 3.3 on average. When I know he could get that up. He could get that up to 5 or 6 easy. 11-yard one was his longest, and he had 2 catches for 19 yards. So yeah, just um receivers, and I put a very special receiver in here, but not a receiver. It's an O lineman. I put Andrew Pearson. He had
yeah,
one catch, one catch on one target for 7 yards. So yeah, that was on a play where work. I thought he was gonna get sacked on the play, but he dumps it off to Pearson for the first down, right? And that was I had to put him in the stats, right? Just because it's not every day an O lineman get a receiving stat, right? uh, that was fun. Yeah. So not a normal receiver, but it's worth mentioning. McInnes, he had 5 catches on 5 targets for 37 yards. I mean, yeah, efficient. I mean, not a whole lot of yardage, but he was catching everything at least. 7.4 on average and 9 was the longest catch. So yeah. Hatcher, 4 catches on 6 targets for 97 yards. Yeah, I mean, none of the receivers had touchdowns, but Hatcher had the most productive day. He had 97 yards. He had 24.3 average per catch, and his longest catch was the 50-yard catch and run, right?
I saw
So,
tweets before the second quarter, second half. I keep getting those mixed up. Saw tweets saying that Hatcher was invisible, and he proved them wrong in the second half.
yeah, I mean, he heard you. Right? I mean,
He did.
there's so many instances during games where I'm going, oh God, I hope he didn't. I hope like an opposing player doesn't hear me, and then he just scores I will score the hot trick or just scores the game-winning touchdown. I go, oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Yes.
uh, but
Bo Levi.
yeah, believe I Mitchell, I will brag you on that for the end until the end of the season. Just
Damn it.
uh, yeah, Abraham, our favorite receiver. I mean, he wasn't as effective. I mean, in terms of yardage again, but 3 catches and 3 targets for 20 yards, 6.7 average as long as it's 14. So I mean, not eye popping totals of low catches again, but I mean he didn't get hurt this time too, so that's good. And Bailey Hill was third. I mean, he had one pretty bad drop wide open, but he
Yeah.
went 4 for 5 for 30 yards, and including redeeming himself actually on special teams with a tackle immediately too, right? So, and he made up for that drop pretty quick, but yeah, 7.5 average and longest with 12. So, um, now, I mean, the offense, I give it like a C or C minus. But the defense, absolutely, I'm giving them an A plus here. I
Yes.
mean, like TJ Lee did it all. Um, he had a sack and fumble recovery. I didn't put that in there, but if I mean, if a lateral counts as a fumble, I mean, it's like a fumble recovery. So yeah, he had a sack and a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Two interceptions. Matthew Betts, who I was disappointed with, pretty much from like ever since after the Ottawa game, he didn't really do a whole lot. Like, but this time, I got up for that pick six he got. Right, that was really good. And then Green got the other interception. But yeah, Ely Ely got 8 tackles. And then with a nickname that I gave him in the course of during the course of the game, which is Based Ely. His name's eighth, so he's based. Uh, yeah, he was based today. 8 tackles. Lee 7 tackles. So yeah, Lee was absolutely one of the defensive MVPs of the game. Rugamba with 6 tackles, Kent with 5, including a forced fumble. And the rest of the team got left 4. And then yeah, the defense were obviously mad about collapsing to Hamilton last week, and they wanted to make up for it. They did. Uh, I am happy that they did not go back to those ways. We don't. I don't want to even remember last week's game
Oh
anymore. I'm
no.
like, uh, and yeah, special teams. Yeah, Sean White was money in the bag. He went 6 for 6 on field goal, so he scored 18 points. So that's like 60% of the scoring that the team did off his leg. And including 2 extra points, so that's actually 20 points. Uh, so yeah, so 20 out of 32 points. That's got to be what, like a C plus in for grading for college stuff, right? But no, this is like an A plus for field goal kicking. And then
As always.
Flintoff, our infamous punter right now, he had 4 punts, averaging 46.5 yards, and I put 0 scoreboard punts. Um, and the broadcast was even talking about that they had like a super cut of all the punts that Flintoff sent into the scoreboard. And I think JS, didn't you say that you noticed the scoreboard was higher? I forgot who it was.
It was the broadcaster who said that.
They raised it 4 feet so no more punts would hit it. And the funny thing was, when I was at the Whitecaps game on Wednesday, I tried squinting and looking up in the jumbotron to see if that football was still there. I couldn't see it. I'd
Oh
like to think
no.
they've got it down to that, because that would seriously be a safety risk if there was a football sitting up there, little gust of wind blows and a boom falls down, smacks somebody in the head, and that's just not good.
Or you could be even more dastardly, and the football could fall down like right in the middle of Sean White kicking a game-winning field goal.
Oh,
It would just drop in air. It would hit the ball in air and stop it.
could you imagine?
Mm, yeah. So yeah, 0 scoreboard punt. And Ben Major was refereeing in the game, so I think the CFL must have done that on purpose, right? Just because of how funny that was, right? Um,
That's why they put Ben Major there.
yeah. Then yeah, Williams for kick return stats only set well, yeah, 7 catches on special teams for a combined 62 yards with an average of 6.8 for punts and 11.7 for kickoffs, and no typical no yards penalties. And yeah, it's just oh man, I do remember there was one. I think there was one kickoff return where I remember it was a whole wave of Calgary defenders coming at him, and I thought like, and even Glenn Thuder mentioned it, like if he had, stayed tall after that wave, it would have only been um the punter to face him, right, and it might have been a kick return for a touchdown by then, right. It was
Hmm.
like
Definitely.
if he had survived that wave, it would have been an easy touchdown, right, but. Yeah, unfortunately, it was just another typical Williams kick return L game. I don't
We
like that.
We move
So
on to the Calgary statistics.
Let's do it. Yeah,
I'll do the offense.
go
Wait, you
for
know
it.
what? Um, Jake Mid. We love calling him Mid, but he's
Jake Middle,
not usually mid against the Lions, which I was surprised they put some statistics up there.
yeah, 12 for 2 for touchdown interception ratio. Yeah,
Man, that
that's
changed today. He was 19 for 27 on throws for 164 yards. He had one touchdown and two interceptions, averaging 6.1 yards per catch with his longest throw, 25 yards, no rushing yards or attempts. I forgot to add this to our document, but Matthew Schultz came in for a couple of um,
vibes.
plays, drives, um, 4 for 5 on throws, 99 yards, one touchdown,
That was
averaging
waving a white flag.
19.8, with his longest one being 53, the one at the end to Beggleton. He also ran 2 carries for 26 yards, averaging 13, and his longest being 16. Running back stats, Dedrick Mills, 1 carry for 16 yards, and no catches, no targets. Peyton Logan was the main running back today for Calgary. He had 15 carries for 89 yards, averaging 5.9 on rushes, almost double of what Stanback had.
Yeah, he was
With
annoying to
16,
take down too. Right? It was
I know it was a lot of certain plays where he was just plowing through the defense. Um, 16 with his longest run, and he also had 3 catches for 29 yards on 3 receptions for 9.3 average, longest being 23. On the receivers, Cam Eccles, we'll address that later, so sending our thoughts and prayers to him because he got injured this game.
That was a really nasty injury. They said
mhm.
it was a spinal injury, and it had me very, very worried.
Yeah,
But luckily, he was able to sit up, and they carted him off that way. They carted him off very slowly, but thankfully, hopefully he'll
he
be, okay in the long run.
he did not look good.
No,
Um,
we did not.
for the game itself, 2 for 2, 34 yards average, 17 per, no, longest being 25. Markin Mitchell, 3 for 4 for 28 yards, 9.3 per catch, the longest being 13. Reggie Beggleton, 4 for 7 with a touchdown, 73 yards with an average of 18.3. I need to
Huh.
type better next time. And his longest being a 53-yard touchdown in garbage time. Jalen
I
Philpott,
hate him. I hate how good he is against us. Well, he's good against the rest of the league too, but I'm like, especially against us.
when
Uh,
he had that touchdown, I heard his name again. I'm like, God, that's him.
oh, yeah. Oh, I don't like that big old boy. So I call him
Reggie,
the
oh, Jalen Philpott. He went 5 for 5 for 51 yards, averaging 10.2 per catch, with his longest being 19. And Ishmael Hyman, um, next door to BC plays was Zach Hyman playing for the Edmonton Oilers. Ismail Hyman went 4 for 8, averaging 16 yards per catch. Oh no, 16 yards with an average of, oh, I did the math horribly. His longest was 16. I messed up that one. Anyway, we go on to the defense.
defense. I put that in there like I was speedily typing that in there.
I'll do better
Uh,
next time. You're normally in
yep.
charge of the stats, and I'm the one reading my own little messy
Yeah.
ones.
And I'm a veteran of for stats typing so far, but yeah,
Literally.
you'll get better as you keep doing it if you're at home more often.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Jacob, you want to do the
that's
defense?
Let's do it. Yeah. So, where are we here? So there wasn't a lot that was super exciting. Hauser, I think that's how you say it, had two sacks.
Hauser,
Hauser had 2 sacks.
like
Rose.
Bowser with an H.
Oh, there you go. Hauser had 2 sacks. Rose had a sack. Uh, Awe and Hauser had 6 tackles each. Houston had 5 tackles. On special teams, Paradis did not have any field goal attempts in the game and was
Which
one
I
for
was
one in extra
surprised,
points.
right?
Yeah,
I
I
saw
know. He
that.
never really put in that situation. And Grace on punting had 5 punts, averaging 49.6 yards. So that's pretty good. And then penalties. This was a very clean game for both teams. Calgary only had
Yeah,
one penalty, 10 yards, BC 3 for 20. So that's the kind of game the referees love to call, where they don't have to get involved much.
don't have to throw the dirty laundry out as much as
It literally, yeah. And then time of possession, that was the only other thing. Calgary had it for 37 rather, BC 26-23. And overall, yeah, BC had a little bit less of the time, but it didn't matter in the end. We were efficient with the ball when we had it, or more
yep.
correctly, the defense was efficient with the ball when they had it. after those
Yeah,
two
actually,
turnovers and split
at
the
one
bulk of the
point,
points.
yeah, and at one point, yeah, I mean, this is a little bit into the recap too. Like in the fourth quarter, Calgary did have a 7 minute drive, which really inflated that time of possession pretty, to keep it over BC, right? So I mean, I think it was, yeah, it was exactly 7 minutes over BC at the end of the game. So I mean, yeah, they had a couple of long drives, but just surprisingly, just either didn't end up in a field goal or they were taking punts or just, or in the case of the fourth quarter, just not just every crazy thing you can ask for from a defense, right? Um, yeah, I guess yeah, we can get into the recap now. So yeah, I did notice that the Lions were keeping the Indigenous logo on the helmet after a Truth and Reconciliation Day, and I'm hoping that will. I mean, they do. I think they do in 2022 when they did it, they did keep it for the rest of the season up until the Western Conference Finals. So I mean, I think they might be sticking with that from now on, but we'll see. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm a huge fan, like I said.
Yeah, I agree.
um, yeah, the TSN podcast did say that Work was 2-4 since his return to BC. Yeah, just no, yeah, it was all road wind and a lot of home losses, right? So uh yeah, it was just a frustrating time to watch. I mean, and it just continues in the really like the first three quarters. But in the first quarter was, on the opening drive, it was there was a decent running game going, but unfortunately Work gets sacked on second down to get out of field goal range. I mean, on Calgary's opening drive, there was multiple times where they were at certain short yardage, and the running backs and the receiving was able to get to that point just to get over to get an easy first down. This was the 7 minute opening drive, right? Where Calgary was constantly converting on second down and one third down, but just right when I thought they were going to score on this drive, uh, I forgot who caught the ball for Calgary, but I do know that I think it was yeah, it was Kent Jr. that punched the ball out. I mean, it's credited as a fumble recovery, so he punched the ball out, and it was in the air long enough for faced Ely to catch it and go all the way down to the Calgary 22. Right,
That was
and
really the only exciting play of that quarter.
that was the only exciting play. I mean, yes, yes, it was a preview of what was to come at least for the fourth quarter, but and we were stoked immediately. Like, it feels like great defensive plays for the Lions feels like they're way too far and few in between, right? Um, yeah, but yeah, like I said, the first quarter did. Oh, that was the most exciting thing to happen, and that easy goes 2 and out, and just continue our frustration with the offense. Right, man, they didn't get anything done with that huge play. Sean White kicks the field goal. Uh, then Calgary, yeah, Calgary goes 2 and out, and then really like BC is on the drive for the second quarter. Uh, yeah, and on the second quarter, it was really uh, there was a second down sack by Hauser, to keep BC punting, and then on Calgary's ensuing driver was Eccles that was converting on a third, second and long. Like, I mean, I do remember this play. I was actually saying like stop with the zone defense, try a blitz, and then Ryan Phillips must have heard me. He tried to blitz, but Eccles still catches for a first down. So I'm like, dang it! Right? They did what I wanted, and it still resulted in the first down. Right? um, yeah. I guess don't hire me for coordinating again. I'm just an armchair coordinator, right? Just uh, anyways, yeah. So and it was here, after BC punched the ball after that sack, and then yeah, gets a few first downs, and then uh gets a few first downs, but and then they eventually score an offensive touchdown. Like Hyman catches an easy pass. I mean, it looked easy to me. I mean, I know there was a defender like draped on him, but I mean, Mayo just puts the ball perfectly in Hyman's hands for the 7-3 lead. I even put at the end of the dread of losing is here for all of us because we're we've seen our team not score a touchdown, not do much of anything with that fumble recovery that goes all the way down there, and then we're going, oh boy, here we go. uh, is the misery going to continue? Williams returns the ball to the 42, but BC gets called for holding on the return to get sent back to the 16.
And I
And
knew
then there
that was a
was
hold. I'm like, that's a penalty. How can you do
yeah,
that? The one time he gets a good return, his teammates screw him over and it doesn't count.
doesn't count, and they get sent all the way back into their own zone. And what else doesn't help is that Barry Hill drops a easy wide open first down conversion pass to make BC go 2-and-out. I mean, that was really, I mean, that was Barry Hill's only real blemish on the game. I mean, he did okay the rest of the receiving and then special teams tackling too, but yeah, this was just an inexcusable drop. Yeah, inexcusable drop. Uh, then yeah, and then it's then it was here that TSN throws up the stat that Jake Mayo is like looking like Bo Levi Mitchell 2.0 against us because apparently he has in his starts against us he has a 12-2 touchdown interception ratio, which I was shocked about. I mean, considering how average of a quarterback he is, but uh guess anybody can look good when you're playing BC. Apparently, for the most part, right? I mean, we have that dread about it. uh, yeah. Really, I mean, it was really from here until like the end of the second quarter. There was punting, there was sacks. I mean, work had a couple of relatively long runs. I mean, he didn't. I mean, on one of the first down conversion ones, he didn't do a hook slide, which is dangerous because not only are you at risk of fumbling the ball, but also severe injury as well. If you get a defender just like clocking you in the head, right? So he didn't slide at that
The
point, and
way
that
they've
was
been using Rourke
dangerous.
has been risky all year. Like putting him in on short yardage is really stupid. Not coaching him to slide is really stupid. You're going to get him injured again. And that's how this whole debacle started in the first place in 2022 when he was injured. So,
Well,
like,
that was a foot injury. That would, uh,
but the point being, you need to protect him. And they're not really
protect
doing a
him at
good
all
job of doing
costs.
that. Yeah. They're
Yep.
not doing a good job of that.
Yeah, but I mean well, I mean those long runs. I mean, as reckless as they were, BC did manage to go all the way down and force Sean White to kick a field goal, like a 40-yard field goal to make the score 7-6. Oh yeah, they didn't take the lead after the first half. It was still a 7-6 lead for Calgary at the halftime, and we were calling at halftime, and we were saying that. This is just continuing. If this team just continues to find new ways to disappoint us by boring us to death, like just today, right? Uh, it changed, but I mean, at this point in the game, it was just. Uh, did I take again? Did I take NyQuil today, or is this game lulling me to sleep? Like, uh, yeah, first half we had a bad feeling about this game, but yeah, in the third quarter, uh, TSN again, and I mean they've been throwing up a bunch of stats and graphics, and this one was pretty damning too. BC was winless. They were 0-5 when trailing at halftime, so now we're 1-5. So, uh, so yeah, this was sort of like in the most literal sense of the word, it is a comeback win by 1 point. Um, But yeah, work. I mean, I think the halftime show must have been, debating on whether or not Adams would come out to start the second half. I mean, I did hear the sideline reporter ask Rick Campbell about the quarterback, and he just said Rourke's going to be still going to go, and yeah, he's still in the game, and Calgary would Calgary gets the kickoff, and then they return it to 35, and then but they do get a few first downs. I think actually, yeah, they get one first down. Logan converted for a 1-on-6, and then he got injured on the next play, and then TJ Lee had a great sack on a blitz on first down. You know, uh, well, yeah, there was the blitz in the second quarter that didn't work out. This one did. So TJ Lee got a sack on Mayer, and yeah, then they punted into the end zone for Rouge to make the score 8-6. And it was still within reach, within a field goal. Then, well, yeah, here's the fun O-line receiving play. So you have Rourke nearly gets sacked, but throws it to Pearson to convert it barely. Like he caught it and then he gets tackled immediately. But that was a fun moment. And then Hatcher converts on a outside curl route, but then the next catch was defended well, and then it forced Sean White to kick a longer field goal back in the 47-yard field goal to make the lead 9-8. And that kick looked a lot less powerful than I'd like it to be, but it barely made it over the back bar. Right, that was.
I was
And
worried
then
about that. And I was like, oh no, it's gonna hit the crossbar and we're gonna get nothing.
barely cleared it. That was a weird kick. I mean, like usually when I see kicks die like that, it's usually when they attempt a field goal from like the 60 or something, right? But that was a weird kick, but it was good. So they took the lead back. Calgary, Calgary went 2-and-out on the next drive. I mean, Bagleton was like way down the field, and Mayo just overthrew him. I got real worried anytime I hear the name Bagleton right now. I'm not expecting a long catch, but thankfully he overthrew it, and then they punted, and TSN then showed the supercut of Flintoff punting into the scoreboard constantly. Right,
That was very funny showing the clips, right?
yeah.
And
Did,
like,
did you
or the
did you see
clips of
that, Hammer?
the referees, or not I guess it was the referees, Ben Major with his two clips and Tom Valacy with
Mhm.
his one. That was not the funniest Tom Valacy clip of all time. Maybe we can highlight that for a future bi-week episode, the real best Tom Valacy
You
clip of all time.
you
But
mentioned my name was mentioned. I took a coughing break.
Oh, coffee break. Yeah, you didn't see the
Apologize.
supercut, so yeah. I I admit I did. Well, I didn't mention this during the group chat. I did have a cup of coffee. Right, just during the third quarter to keep myself awake, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I was being bored to death by this game, right? But yeah, so I mean, not much happened
Coffee
in the third.
coughing.
Yeah, it was coffee and a field goal, right? That's, uh, yeah, BC goes 2-0. Man, the Calgary returner got cut down by Billy Hill. Like it was a tackle, which I thought was pretty good. Like, props to Billy Hill for that one. Uh, yeah, Logan was back from injury, like from the last drive, and then he runs for a few first downs, and then TJ Lee defends Bagleton on a deep cross to force Calgary to punt. And yeah, Hatcher second down catches a wide open patch for 50 yards on
that
BC's
was
in
that
seven
was
drives.
that
Big.
was amazing.
That was his moment.
I think we had
That
a lot
was
of yelling in the group chat about that.
Oh yeah.
yeah, yeah, a 50-yard pass makes it feel like a touchdown for us, right? Considering how much this offense was struggling, right? And then on the final play of the quarter, Stanback runs for 10, but then he's rejected by a procedure call. So that was a end to the third quarter after a high 50-yard pass, right? Um, and now the fourth quarter is where the insanity happens, just like it has for a lot of our other games, right? So after the procedure call, Stanback catches the check down for 5 yards, and then Berryhill converts on a curl out for 11. And then yeah, Ben Rook actually gets some really good O-line protection and makes the throw to Hatcher for 15 yards. But then Rook gets chased on second down. Like he was running around in the backfield, right? And he was obviously looking for a receiver to throw to, but yeah, he just saw nothing and decided to throw it away. So that was a disappointing end to that drive too. And yeah, Sean White kicks the chip shot field goal. Uh, and the funny thing is, BC did try to make Calgary go offside as well, but didn't work obviously. So took a delayed game penalty, and still an easy field goal. And then JS, you thought they were actually going to go for it, and I called
I
it. Please don't go full Nick Sirianni for the
I,
Eagles. Hey,
Yeah.
I thought, if they had gone for it, that wouldn't have been a terrible decision because I think it was 9-8 at the time or whatever it was. And that would have been, the points are at a premium. You might as well go for a touchdown. Not like Calgary is scoring anything, right? In the end, though, they got the field goal to go up to 12-8. And then almost
yeah,
immediately after that, this was where I was on my feet screaming. Everybody was cheering. The Mathieu Betts 70
Matthew
yard
Betts,
pick six. That was just out of the blue, out of nowhere. Amazing.
amazing. Yeah, yeah, with the tight 10th game. I mean, even though it was a 4-point lead, like we knew Calgary could just as easily score another touchdown because they were the ones scoring the offensive touchdown and we weren't. And that was the TSN turning point for the game right there. Right, that pick six was like just an absolute mood lifter, right? uh, yeah, and I was critical of Beck a little bit here and there for not being too much of an impact player after coming back, but that is where he made his money right there. If it's not the sacks, it's that. Like he was speeding down the field, right? At his normal speed, right? Just yeah, that was great. And then just when he got the craziness of that pick six, and then Calgary returned the kickoff to the 35, and then on the first play of the Calgary's offense, Mayer looks like I mean he threw a sideways pass that could be construed as an incomplete pass, but the referees let it go. They let it go. They ruled it as a lateral. TJ Lee scoops it up and scores.
That was so incredibly bizarre because, like,
I have never seen that
I
happen.
thought the play was incomplete. It kind of looked like everybody thought the play was incomplete, but they let it go. And I thought, the most I thought they might do is they call it incomplete, but after review, they deem it to be a lateral and give BC possession right there, which I've seen that before. But no, they called
Yeah,
it a touchdown. I really don't think that was a lateral. The way I saw the replay, it looked like it was going forward slightly, but was it conclusive enough to overturn? Probably not. So the Lions catch a massive break there.
yeah. Buffalo Bill
And
fans look away from that. Don't no, because
massive
that
break
was
there, and it went up 26-8, which at that point I knew the game was over. So yeah,
yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a sequence like that before, where it was a pick six and then well, it was a ruled lateral foot fumble for return for a touchdown, right? So yeah, that was just the defense just really capitalizing on bad mistakes, right? Just yeah, 26-8, just immediately from like at the start of the fourth quarter it was 12-8, and now we're up to 26-8 within 2 minutes, right? uh yeah, that was super elating. And then yeah, and then, I mean, right when we were having a relation about going up by that many points, and Echo returns the ball on the kickoff, and then he gets like hit really hard by I think it was Gagne. Yeah, it was Gagne who hit him like really hard, and he landed in the sideline, and it took a long time for him to get up as the cart was going, and well, the cart was out for him, and Yeah, I mean, I didn't say it while you two were talking about it. I'll say it too, that I hope he's all right and he does get another game or two in before the season's out. But be better. Maybe it'd be better if he sits out the rest of the season just because Calgary's probably done. Uh, yeah, yeah, glad to see he's okay. But yeah, the Calgary offense, Mayo gets intercepted again as the defense takes it to the 18. But of course, like I also remember saying in the group chat where I wanted 30 points in this half to make me feel good about the offense.
You did.
I got 30 points, not in the way I thought I would, but there's 30 plus points in the final, right? But yeah, Sean White, basically kicks 2 field goals, right? Just as Schultz comes in for the last 2 drives, right? Once it was once it was like a wide open touchdown pass to Bagleton. Like I was typing in my notes like before that Bagleton touchdown happened. I was typing that in my notes. I said, Dickinson is clearly waving a white flag, and then I hear touchdown Bagleton, and then I go, as soon as I typed that, he throws the touchdown pass. Oh, that's like a mini Hamilton moment for me. Where I'm like, okay, I gotta calm down. Right? So yeah, that was outside of that wacky touchdown, that was like with Calgary scoring all the offensive touchdowns in a loss. So yeah, score ended up being 32-18. I put White is over half of the Lions offense officially. And then yeah, Calgary doesn't get the garbage time TD as the Lions finally win a home game at BC Place.
First time in almost
It's
3
been
months.
three
Cinema.
months. It's been
It's just insane.
it's been 80 days, right? Uh yeah, they go to 8-8 and then they await their playoff fate, you know, to see if they clinch a playoff spot tomorrow if Saskatchewan beats Edmonton. And then Calgary falls to so yeah, we go to 8-8 and then Calgary falls to 4-10-1. And I thought they were going to be eliminated after today. Apparently, well, they were not, but they're very it's a very slim chance, right? Like they need so many things to go right. So yeah, that was a weird game, right? That's all I could say about that, right? That was something. That was the game. That was the game of all time. Uh well, BC offense doesn't really do anything and they still win. Uh yeah, I mean this does I guess psychologically with a team, it does do wonders that they can be able to take the good feelings off this win and take it into Saskatchewan if they need it, right? But yeah, I'm just relieved that I was able to finally experience a win. It felt like forever, right? Uh,
I can't say very much, but I'm also very happy that we got the win. When we're we now 8-8 with 2 games remaining, and a lot of the other teams have 3 to 4 games remaining. We just got to get the win next week against Saskatchewan.
And then we have that home. If we do that, we all likely would have our home playoff game on the second. It would be the third straight year we've hosted the Western Semi, which would, I guess it'd be a bit of a tradition for the Lions to host that game. But
Apparently, yeah. Well,
again, we all knew this was going to be the way at the start of the season. If the Lions are going to want to make the Grey Cup, they're going to have to win the West Final in Winnipeg.
they have to beat
Darn
Winnipeg.
it, man.
We
Gonna slay
knew
the
that's how it was
Dragons.
going to be. We had a little bit of false hope early in the year that might not be that way, but in the end, that's what it's going to be. And I've been saying this for weeks on our show. I think that would be poetic if the Lions win the West Final in Winnipeg.
Finally beat them.
Slay the Dragons like
Just to
Alex
end
Burrows,
end the reign of terror once and for all, right?
like
They
Alex
stop
Burrows
making it.
slaying the Blackhawks in 2011 for the
Yeah,
Canucks. It'd
Nathan
be
Rourke
that
coming
kind of thing.
back.
yeah.
There you
The
Stop
go.
place
making
where
the Grey
he
Cup. stop making the Grey Cup like the Blue Bombers Invitational, right?
Exactly.
Oh, God damn it.
The one sad thing though is that maybe not sad because we're Lions fans, but if we're CFL nerds, the events that they basically put to bed any East crossover hopes.
Yeah, because well, I mean, I guess they can get like, well,
Hamilton
uh,
is 2 games behind us, and they have 3 games left. We have two. So basically, like
yeah,
we would have to lose both, which is possible, and then Hamilton would have to win all three if memory serves. So basically, the East crossover will have to wait, unfortunately, for
yeah,
well,
yeah. I
Hamilton.
mean,
No, actually, Hamilton only has 2 games left. Wait,
but
Hamilton has 2 games left. They're at 12 points. Not quite. Okay. I'm looking at the standings now. Hamilton has 2 games left. They're at 12 points.
It's
Their
now,
maximum is 16. Saskatchewan is third in the West right now, and they're at 15
so it's impossible for them to take over the Lions, and the Riders need one more point to essentially clinch.
to kill, or need one more
still
point
the crossover
to
hopes.
kill the crossover hopes. So in other words, let's go Elks tomorrow,
Yeah,
and then let's go Lions next week,
Yeah,
and
but
let's
then
go
it's
Lions
a
forever.
but again, the consolation prize for Saskatchewan winning is we're in the playoffs. Right. After weeks of what it felt like, where we got real nervous, like, oh my God, what if we lose out and miss the playoffs, right? But this win, I mean, it pretty much gets us up to 99.9% chance we're gonna clinch, right? Uh,
and
more or
yeah,
less.
the West final hopes for us are dead, unfortunately, because
Yeah,
Sucks.
because Winnipeg won
Winnipeg's
again.
two
They're
games
at
up on us, and they have the tiebreaker because of
yeah,
our
10.
meltdowns earlier in the year. So
Yeah, I mean, and I said this in the Senators Discord with my red black friends. I said for Winnipeg to go from 0-4 to 10-6 is insane. I haven't seen a comeback run like that since the 2011 Lions. Really,
literally, yeah, like
just they are on a
this,
mission,
of course, has to
and
be the Bombers.
it
I hate
has to be the Bombers, right?
hate them.
It's
But it could be
I
us.
Yeah, we and I just think that had we won like one more Bomber game, right? We won the first one, but then lost the last two, right? And then the last one was like in really demoralizing fashion, right? But I would hope that that's the worst it can get, right? I mean, as bad as those Western Conference final losses were, I mean, that shutout loss was, oh God. Um, yeah, but again, we have to, like, from here on, we're just focusing on every week, and just as the greatest month in sports is just kicking off, and we're also getting into Thanksgiving, which is not until the 14th. And also on that note, I after the game, the Lions players were eating turkey, and I'm going, wait a minute, Thanksgiving isn't until 2 Mondays from now, right? Why are they eating turkey now? Uh,
Yeah, the Gravy Bowl is what they branded today's game as. They had these turkeys on the plaza, which I obviously didn't see, so a little bit odd. But I guess we
that's
don't
weird.
have a game at home until after Thanksgiving, do we? I don't know.
No,
Next home game is the 20th, I think. 21st, Election Day.
okay. So yeah, I think that might be why we're having turkey dinner. Because well, I mean, there would be then Saskatchewan would have their own kind of turkey thing going on
Yeah,
for next week. But yeah, yeah,
want to
we're
wrap
gonna be
things up.
yeah, we're gonna be enjoying this win today, and well, as the players would say, we're gonna be enjoying this win today. We're gonna be tomorrow we'll get right back to it. We'll focus on Saskatchewan, and uh hope that we well, I mean, BC is a solid, is a decent team on the road. I mean, they beat Montreal on the road, which is something that no other that not a lot of other teams can do recently, right? So that was so yeah. This was a little shot in the eye for our confidence, but yeah, we'll just see what happens next week. So yeah, that'll be that'll be it for us today. Once again, thank you, Hubert, for your fan mail. I hope you're watching this too. So
You're the
uh,
first one, and we're big fans of you.
yeah, big fans of that question too. I mean, like, I've thought about it for a bit, right? And I hope that our answer uh was good. Uh I mean, if anyone else wants to send us a question or comments, or just tell us that, hey, like, hey, your choice in sports teams suck, how dare you.
I
um
got my
uh,
sports teams everywhere in this room.
yeah our socials are, you can reach us at Gmail through email at section 214. That's SECTION FOURTEEN. Yeah,
SECTION
TWO. I forgot the two.
TWOFOURTEEN at
Dang it. I
gmail.com.
knew I forgot that. Yeah, TWOFOUTEEN.
It's in our socials.
It's in our socials,
I'm
but
sure we've
yeah,
misspelled it. Maybe one day we'll do a spelling bee challenge and you have to spell it 10 times
Oh my
fast.
God.
yeah,
Off-season content.
There you go.
yeah. So yeah, you can
Gotta
reach us there
gotta
at
keep the
Gmail,
people
and then
entertained.
yeah, and then the Twitter and Instagram are section 214 pod. So the word 214, the numbers, pod in lowercase letters, so POD. And yeah, that's yeah, pretty good day today after what was a tough week. Yeah, tough week pretty much for us, but yeah, let's take that into Saskatchewan. I believe next Saturday,
Next
right?
Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's an early game too. So I mean, we don't have to stay up until near midnight for recording anymore. At
That's
I
least
need
true.
some
for
rest.
Yeah,
yeah.
now we can all sleep in a bit.
Okay, so yeah, that's gonna do it for us today. So we'll see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye,
Yeah.
everyone.